Have you ever wondered why some massive companies invest hundreds of millions into projects that seem, well, risky? Let's talk about something I came across recently while reading articles online. I found something very interesting, especially when it comes to the gaming industry and some of Sony's recent moves. Now, the topic we're diving into today is about tax write-offs. Specifically, how a big company might use a failed investment, like a live service game that doesn't succeed, as a way to possibly reduce their taxes. I'm not accusing anyone of anything here. I'm just discussing a possibility that seems worth thinking about, especially when you consider the size of these investments. So here's how it works. In simple terms, if a company spends a large sum of money on a project, say, a video game, and that game fails, the financial loss can sometimes be used to lower how much tax the company pays. This is called a tax write-off. Instead of the money just vanishing into thin air, it softens the blow by reducing taxable income. In short, the bigger the loss, the bigger the write-off. Again, this doesn't mean they get all the money back, it just lowers their taxes a bit. Take Concord, for example. Sony reportedly invested $400 million into this game. That's a massive investment, and while the game hasn't even released yet, there's already a ton of skepticism around it. People online are asking why so much money went into a new live service game, when the market already feels oversaturated. That's when I started connecting dots from what I'd read. Could it be that Sony, while hoping for success, also knew that even if the game failed, it wouldn't be a total financial disaster? Because at the end of the day, that $400 million loss could still provide tax benefits. It's a win-win situation in some ways. If the game blows up and becomes the next big hit, great. If not, they could potentially write it off. And remember, this isn't unique to Sony. Many big companies across industries use similar strategies. It's just good business planning. But when you apply that logic to gaming, it opens up a whole new way of looking at these high-budget, high-risk projects. So when people ask why a company like Sony would greenlight so many live service games in a row, maybe it's not just about chasing Fortnite-style success. Maybe it's also about having a financial cushion if things don't go as planned. Again, just a possibility. But an interesting one, right? Next, let's look at how this same theory might be quietly playing out with Bungie's upcoming game, Marathon. Could it be another situation where success is the goal, but failure still serves a purpose? Stay tuned. Let's take a look at Marathon, Bungie's upcoming extraction shooter. Just like Concord, this is another live service game being pushed by Sony. And once again, we're talking about massive development costs, marketing budgets, and long-term service plans. Now remember, we're not saying anything shady is happening. I'm simply pointing out a business possibility I read about online, one that companies might use to soften the financial blow of a project that doesn't go according to plan. It's all part of how big corporate accounting works. With Marathon, the stakes feel a little different. Bungie already has the credibility of Destiny under their belt, but there's still a ton of uncertainty. Live service games are incredibly hard to pull off. Even major publishers like EA, Ubisoft, and Square Enix have had their fair share of flops. So why keep betting on this genre? Maybe, just maybe, it's because these kinds of investments come with a sort of financial safety net. If the game takes off, it brings in huge profits over time through microtransactions and long-term player engagement. But if it doesn't, well, the development costs, salaries, servers, assets, marketing can potentially be categorized as a loss, which can then reduce how much the company owes in taxes. And with a game like Marathon, which is getting a full studio's attention and plenty of marketing hype, that potential loss could be worth a lot on paper. Bigger investment, bigger write-off. Again, I'm not saying that's the intention, but if you were a big company, wouldn't it be smart to invest in something that gives you a shot at big profit, but also cushions your fall if things go wrong? And here's the interesting part. Bungie reportedly had internal issues with Marathon's development, with some developers even voicing concern about the direction of the game. Yet, it's still moving forward. Why? Maybe Sony is hopeful for success, or maybe they know the investment is protected no matter what happens. It's important to remember, this isn't illegal or underhanded. It's standard corporate behavior. Lots of industries operate this way. The film industry, for example, often deals with similar risks, and those losses are sometimes used to balance the books. The gaming industry might just be doing the same. When you put all this into perspective, it makes you think. Maybe the live service push isn't just about chasing trends or trying to compete with Fortnite and Apex. Maybe it's also about leveraging tax rules that allow a company to take risks, while managing downside. Still, at the end of the day, the goal is probably still success. A hit game brings in revenue, brand growth, loyal players, and prestige. But in the modern gaming world, even a flop doesn't always mean failure. Not if it can be written off in a way that benefits the bottom line.